What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action. This morning in the blue color playing as Hades. He's calling himself Jorge El Curioso, George for short, but his name is actually Mariano. Mariano at the start, Mariano at the end. To get a name change in the Age of Mythology community, you have to go through the proper channels. You have to go through the governmental processes to get a name change, and Mariano has yet to do that. So he is still Mariano. He is up with a challenge today, though, ladies and gentlemen, as he is playing against the incredible, the indestructible, the potentially incredibly beautiful. I don't actually know. I haven't seen a photo of him. His name is Ulysses, and he's playing as the Oranos. He is in the fiery color red today, and the map is Alfheim. This is the group stages of the Champions League. This is where dreams are made. This is where legacies are made. This is where history is made as Ulysses forgets to train a villager here. I'm not sure what's going on there, but he will figure that out, and he will very angrily click the auto queue button. So yes, Alfheim is the map. A couple of relics have been found out. We'll talk a little bit about the matchup after this, but the Kopesh of Horus, a very, very big relic for both sides of the coin here, helping out in the early game for the Atlantean player against potential Minotaur harassment and things like that, and also helping out in the mid game for the Hades player against like Dryads, against Stymphalian birds, against all of the good stuff there. Another relic over here on the map, we do have the monkey head. This one's going to help out in the early game yet again. It's not the best of the free unit relics. Obviously, the golden lion is a hell of a lot better than this, even though you only get 2 of them. The relic monkeys, they're just a little bit slow. They've got decent stats, in all honesty, for being free units, but they're just slow, so they slow your army down if you move it with it. So the secret with the relic monkey is to make sure whenever you're using this, using these units, is you just don't move them with your army. You can move them into a location close to somewhere. You can harass with them as a raiding party or something like that, but just don't use them in your army, and they can be a really, really useful asset. Anyways, matchup time. We've seen this matchup quite a bit. This is seemingly a bit of a popular matchup for a lot of these players here, as we do see that Ulysses is moving all over onto these elk. He has found some deer down the bottom of the corner of the map here, but yet to send any citizen down there. But yeah, so Oranos versus Hades on Alfheim. What are these guys wanting to do? What does the Hades really want here? Well, the Hades on this map is really, really hoping for a gold mine. Bam, nice and close to a second town center. Bam. This map here is really, really good for Hades. I'm not sure why we see Oranos so much. I will talk about potentially why, but I don't think that this is a great map here for Oranos, because more often than not, you're going to be facing a Hades player who has got fantastic gold mine potential, and it's going to be really, really tough to stop that. Now, if Mariano decides to go for this town center over here, the map will become a very, very nice map for the Oranos player, because he's going to be able to put pressure onto all the gold mines. There's going to be nothing really able to defend that. So, yes, this matchup here seems to me to be really basically all about the map, and basically all about how well each player controls pushing their opponent into certain aspects of this map. So Ulysses is really going to want to stop this town center from going up. If he can, then he's going to be able to have a nice attempt at a gold star here. Thank you for the 3 months, Mr. Hypnotize. Appreciate you, my friend. Thanks so much. There is another relic that's been uncovered, the Sistrum of Bast. Now, this relic, as good as it looks like a fantastic relic, minus 10% food cost. In reality, it is no better than the food. What is it called? I've forgotten the name of it, but it gives you a trickle of food. It's no better than that relic when you're on 1 town center. It starts being slightly better than that relic when you're on 2 town centers. And then if you're on 3 town centers, it will be much better than that relic up until all of your villages are created. So it's a bit of a funky one, but yeah, it's great. You should pick it up, but you shouldn't be killing yourself to pick it up. As we do see that second age has come through. Is Ulysses going to be dropping any buildings down on this location? This is what I've been seeing by some Oranos players, which I think is a really, really nice adaptation, is on your forward hunt, dropping your military buildings to allow your units to get to the place they need to be much faster. Now, if we take over here, we are seeing Mariano here getting himself Chiron, getting himself Ajax, and he is indeed going. Ship at the fingernails is the relic. Okay, thank you there, Loggy. Mariano is indeed going for this back town center. He moves there a little bit fast here. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, actually, I am sure what's going on there. It looks like Mariano not having the best of early games in terms of food, resource placement, and he just did not quite have the resources to get both the Chiron, the town center, and the Ajax out. Anyways. Everything is out, and we do see that Mariano is going for his back town center. So this does give Ulysses every opportunity here to get some sort of a gold star, especially on this gold mine here. Putting pressure over here, making sure this gold mine doesn't get grabbed, and then just sending everything over here and making sure this town center never gets grabbed is going to be the game plan. Now, luckily for Mariano, if he throws up a wall over here and gets watchtowers, he's going to be in for a fantastic time here, as we do see the wall coming up. And obviously this sentry tower also needs to be protected with some wall segments, and he should be in a very, very happy place for defending his home base. His second town center is up over here. A little bit short on the food here. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there, but he needs to bring some villagers over onto chickens and onto the cows. He doesn't have a whole lot of food here, so it's going to be a very, very slow start for him, as we do see the Minotaur, Ajax, Chiron making a move over onto this location over here, as the Ulysses army has to pull back, not quite ready to take these fights. A little bit of micro there from that hero Terma is going to be really, really nice. Did he heroize that Terma all by itself? No, he's got the relics coming in, grabbing himself the System of Bast and the Fetters of Fenrir. Not sure there's really a whole lot to that relic, but going to be doing it nonetheless, trying to catch out these units as best as they possibly can. That Minotaur there could easily take out one of those Termers. We do see the Sentinels getting dropped down over here to help defend, as wall segments are coming up on this position as well. The Chiron getting pushed back. Still no watchtowers up for Mariano just yet, as the army getting pushed away. We do see the Minotaur has been kept alive for the time being, as the Promethean offspring do get taken down. One Terma has been picked off there, as more Terma are going to be coming in, flooding into this location. Still, we don't see the watchtowers through for Mariano. He might be thinking about grabbing that right about now, though, as he has the resources for it, though he might be feeling like he wants to get husbandry or something else that probably doesn't have that. Well, he does have husbandry. He's got pickaxe. He's got everything else. He's got himself hand axe and pickaxe at this point. Lots of upgrades coming through, but still no watchtowers. As the Chiron coming in, we do also see those relic monkeys going to be helping out a little bit here to try and defend, as we see the second town center getting dropped by Ulysses. Not grabbing that forward town center here. Another option here for Ulysses instead of that back town center could have been to grab the forward one on this location here. Obviously has to put the effort into sending a citizen over there. But if he grabs the two forward town centers, he then also gives himself an extra opportunity here to win in this game. Instead of just having that gold star, he also gets the opportunity to potentially hold 4 town centers, or at least force a earthquake onto one of his 4 town centers nonetheless. As the Sentinels here able to hold on. We still haven't seen that watchtowers coming in. That could have really relieved a whole bunch of this pressure from Mariano. Instead, he went for those upgrades, which are going to take a while to pay off. And he's now popping out some hoplites. He's got some Toxotes to pop out here as well. So going to be attempting to hold with some units, as a military academy gets dropped immediately there, as the shockwave getting dropped onto those Toxotes, as the term are going to come through to try and snipe those down. As those arrows fly through, restoration going to be dropped down to keep that Ajax alive, as the Ulysses army now needs to retreat back. The second town center is up. The citizens have started, and Ulysses is on the warpath. He's got the resources for a third town center here as well. So we do see the Katoskopos on this position, scouting that one out, as I'm sure the citizen will be moving up onto that position there to drop that one. We'll see if Mariano is going to be able to do anything there, but Ulysses at this point, he's doing a really nice job of slowing down the production of Mariano. And Mariano at this point now finally getting himself watchtowers. He needs to start throwing farms down. He's out of food here in his main base as the villagers getting pulled off of that gold mine for the time being. Still no villager losses as the tower is starting to get taken down. The watchtowers are up now, and Ulysses is going to have to invest a lot of resources in taking this tower down, and he will decide in that moment to retreat back, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a house or a wall segment get dropped down over here by Mariano to defend this one as soon as he possibly can, as the army is still pushing through here to try and take this tower out. Obviously, destroying this tower will open this gold mine up, as we do see the town center also coming up on that location there for Ulysses. As the term is still going nicely after those Toxotes, but lots of kills coming through here for Mariano as that tower here getting abandoned. Ulysses not able to take it down, and at this point here, yet again, we could just see a house get dropped down on this position now to completely wall that tower in and make it very, very tough for Ulysses to push through in here, but Mariano taking his time, not dropping that down just yet, as the army going to be able to come back in. More units popping out over here, but still low amount of population for Mariano. He's at 58 population, very low amount here in terms of units as the tower starting to get targeted down. Again, it looks like Mariano is almost happy to lose this tower, knowing that he's going to be able to trade good amounts of units for it. That's maybe why he's not dropping the house down. He's just baiting Ulysses in a way, as the army continuing to take these fights here. And I think Ulysses might not really be wanting to do this. Instead, opting for maybe, I mean, obviously picking off every unit here is going to be forcing Mariano to train more units and potentially stay in the classical age for a little bit longer, as we do finally see that house does get dropped down and Mariano can just pull back. Farms starting to come up around both of these town centers here nicely. As, I mean, I don't think that he can really support village production and the military academies, which will allow Ulysses more than easily able to catch up in the economy here. He's at 21 citizens to only 49 villages. So he's got a nice sizable lead in terms of income for the moment here, as the army still pushing forward here for Mariano, still trying to take these fights here. There's plenty of Murmillo here in these fights. 5 Murmillo, more than enough really to deal with this, but he's going to have to retreat back for the time being, as I think Ulysses is going to be needing a couple more military buildings. And one thing I would really love here for Ulysses is to start putting those military buildings around this town center to prevent Mariano from pushing onto this position, as Mariano now smartly starting to push forward onto this large gold mine nice and early here, knowing that's going to be an important thing here, as now we're starting to see some Caraballister coming in. Ulysses has got a 30 population lead here in this game, though he is up around about, I would say, 10 to 20 population in terms of economy here as well, as the hoplites retreating back. Still, Mariano in a relatively rough position. That Caraballister is now going to start becoming very, very scary here, though the Hades Shades do tank nicely. As Ulysses waiting on that medium infantry, does grab that one there, as the Term are going to try and push around to take down those Toxotes in the back. Toxotes do get themselves medium archers as well, as they're able to actually tank a little bit more, as the Caraballister there needs to target the right unit, and Ulysses yet again going to have to retreat back here. He's almost at, well, he's actually at full citizens now. Those citizens not going to need to train anymore. You see they finish up. That's the final citizen queued. 28 citizen in the bank there means now Ulysses doesn't have to spend any resources on economy. He can put everything in to military here. So long as he's got all of the military buildings, he should be able to hold on these positions. He's also going to have Shockwave available, if not available now, very, very soon, as he's still not able to take these fights. But, I mean, one thing he could do to take these fights very simply is drop an armory, get himself all of the copper upgrades, and it's going to be tough for Mariano to compete there. As we do see the Shockwave gets dropped down immediately, as the Terma trying to take down those Toxotes as best as they possibly can. Units pushing through that. Caraballister getting some very, very good damage done. Ulysses is sitting at a solid 144 population here compared to Mariano's 100 population. Mariano cannot retreat here. If he retreats, he loses everything. But while he's taking these fights, he is also getting Hades Shades. He's producing more military buildings on these positions here. And now, as the fight ends, Mariano decides he's going to pull back ever so so slightly, take a little bit of damage on the retreat here, or at least he should be, as Ulysses is now pushing closer and closer to the heroic age. I do think that a heroic age here is not as valuable as more military buildings on this position. Even grabbing this town center wouldn't be a bad idea, but most importantly, just getting himself armory upgrades here to take these fights easier and better. Instead of retreating here, he'd be able to push in and get this gold stuff, but he picks the heroic age. He's going to have access to a huge timing here in terms of his heroic age advance time to get himself out dryads and everything else to push through before potentially Mariano can get himself to his own heroic age or even grab this town center. And still, Mariano here is able to take these fights down a sizable amount of population. Villagers sitting on this position. Let's take a look at how many military buildings that Ulysses actually has. He's got what looks to only be 4 military buildings, as well as a rally point up into the middle of nowhere with a ton of Kyroballs. That's a lot of population being wasted up on that on that top location there, as the Terma misclicking around or dodging arrows or something here, as Ulysses trying to micro this as best as he can to continue these fights here. As the Citizen might need to retreat back. We finally see the copper shields coming through there for Ulysses. Mariano at this point can decide to grab this town center as well here. If Mariano wants to, he also could just decide to go to the heroic age himself as an option. But I think potentially grabbing the town center wouldn't be the worst of ideas here, as it looks like Ulysses here, he's in the next age. He's got all his villages. So too now does Mariano basically have all of his villages. He's shorted himself 8, but he's getting himself his 3rd town center. He'll be able to get those final 8 villages up. We see the Hesperid's tree is out here now. And the thing is now, if this town center gets up for Mariano, there's going to be no chance for this heroic age push to break the town center plus the 145 population. But Mariano making a slight mismovement here as the army going to come through. Ulysses has to know that he needs to stop this town center from going up. The Stymphalian bird here, or Stymphalian bird production that's about to come through for Ulysses, is going to be really, really important. He has to snipe down the Chiron. Nice positioning there of that Stymphalian bird around the forest here, as the army trying to deny the town center. 7 villages on this one. The units here for Ulysses starting to break through. Those Dryads are going to be a really, really big assistance on this attack, as Mariano knows he needs to fight this one. He needs to get this town center up as best as he can. Vault of Erebus, sharp one coming through. Fortified town centers, however, coming through for Ulysses here in order to get himself that 160 population. Maybe not a bad idea to chuck a market up to the top corner of the map and start a trade route as well with that extra food floating there to Ulysses to keep that production going, as we do see a little bit of a raid coming up onto this top location. We do see the market is up there as well, so Ulysses does have that idea in the back of his mind as well, as the unit's still pushing through here. The Terma here nicely helping out to take down these Toxotes and everything else. I wouldn't mind seeing maybe a palace get dropped down here for Ulysses, potentially behind the wood line here, or even just right on top of the town center. Wouldn't be a bad idea, as we are now starting to see the raids coming through. Going to pick off 2 Citizen there. That's a big help to the pushing, or the town center's securement. Not really. I think those units here probably would have helped Mariano secure this town center a little bit more here, but we'll see if he's going to be able to get it up. It's getting closer and closer as more units coming through for Ulysses, but Ulysses is now at 130 of 160 population. The town center is up, and potentially here Ulysses is going to be kicking himself for, instead of getting fortified town centers, potentially, take a look at these upgrades that he's got. He could have got himself bronze shields. He probably could have also afforded to get himself copper weapons as well, and he probably would be sitting at a much more healthy 145 population. Maybe even heavy infantry as well could have been another option there, or even heavy archers being a better option to grab here to continue putting pressure. But the town center is now up for Mariano. He's still getting raids in onto this position, hitting the Ulysses gold villages. Mariano's also on this back gold mine over there. He's got plenty of gold left on this position as well. He's about to be advancing to the heroic age. He is stabilized very, very nicely here in this game. And Ulysses, while he does still have the score lead, he does still have some sort of an opportunity here to win. His army is simply just not going to be able to cut it here against the Mariano Hades army. The villagers here getting pushed off of this location over here. There's no gold. I mean, the gold mine is over here. These citizens are moving forward. We do see a palace up on that town center over there, as we do see a big shockwave coming through here to help the Terma take those Toxotes down, but it doesn't matter. Aphrodite has clicked in. Mariano's got the population lead for the first time in this game. And Ulysses here, it looks like he just has nothing in the tank. He's got no gold income here. He can't get the gold mines anywhere on this map. I mean, he could just move forward onto this gold mine potentially here, but he just doesn't have it. He can sell some wood here for the time being if he so chooses, but he's just in a really, really difficult position as now Mariano started to drop military buildings all around the top side of the map to continue putting the pressure onto the gold mines of Ulysses as the army coming back over here onto this gold mine. The citizens are moving through here to grab that gold mine, but the Toxotes are already there. One very, very low HP, super high value hero citizen on that location as well. Mariano sees it. He's going to be taking that one out as the army pushes through onto this location here to start taking down Ulysses' army even harder here. 94 population for Ulysses is in a very, very tough position. Curse getting dropped down. Ulysses' citizen once at 28, dropping down to 22 here. He is in a very, very tough position in terms of economy here, in terms of population here, and he's in a tough position now in terms of tech because Mariano is about to advance to the Mythic Age here. He's got the resources basically in the back with that gold there. He just needs a little bit more food. The market coming up in the top corner of the map as well. He could potentially just cancel all the military production or even cancel that heavy infantry and be able to advance to the Mythic Age here if he so chose. But that those resources are going to come in very, very fast as we see the Toxotes searching around for some more raids here. Over on this position is a great place to raid. Whether or not he knows that does remain to be seen as Artemis is coming through. We do see fortified town centers. There is no masons. Earthquake should be able to take down the town center and the palace here. Potentially not also the second palace there with all of those military barracks. So he will have to position that one to make sure he takes down everything there. Alternatively, he could just earthquake the home town center or this town center over here and guarantee a town center kill. As the army pushing through onto this position, we do see the palace here going to be getting some good damage done onto Mariano. But, I mean, the other option here for Mariano, as he's probably well aware, is just earthquake this palace. And he's going to be able to push off this gold mine and get a gold staff here. As the army's still pushing through here, we got Mariano dropping down to 120 population, so we may want to just retreat here, stabilize a little bit. He does get the raids onto those farms here as the villagers. Looks like he did lose a couple of those Toxotes, but the citizens do manage to get out of there, but he does get pushed off both of those farms for the time being there. As another archery range coming down as Mariano, he's got plenty of resources in the bank, but his population isn't quite there. So we may want to just take a quick pause here as we finally see Ulysses getting in to this strong army we talk about from time to time here is the Destroyer Arcus army of the Atlantean civilization. This army here is really, really tough for the Greek player to deal with. You need Hephaestus to kill off those destroyers, and you need Toxotes, really, or Peltast or Hippocon to take out the Arcus. And generally speaking, there isn't a good way to deal with this army up until you start getting out Heliopolis. Once you get the Heliopoli out, then you are able to basically the Oranos player is going to be having a tough time. But nonetheless, we're seeing Hecate come through for Ulysses here as the army is continuing to push through onto this location. The Chimera is another really, really good option there as we do see the Earthquake getting dropped down. Will take out the palace. The villagers are going to get pulled away from this location, but the town center is going to be surviving for quite some time as Chimera coming through onto this position, taking a little bit of damage there as the citizen going to be swinging back. What gold mine can they really go to? The walls are up all over the place here as the army pushing through. What can he really do? The citizen are going to be moving back over onto this position, but the Chimera is already here to start taking these villagers down. Mariano knows that this is the case here as he's about to start getting some incredible amounts of damage done onto those citizens that are retreating back to the town center. Hecate will give access to the Lampedes to destroy this Chimera. There's also plenty of Arcus here that can be converted into Hero Arcus to deal with that one. Potentially over on this location wouldn't be a bad idea, but Ulysses doesn't have the resources to make that work for the time being here. The Stymphalian bird is also over here. That can take out the Chimera to boot here, but really, what can Ulysses do? He needs to push through this entire army, plus he's got no gold. He will have access to this Hecate here, which will be a distraction for Mariano, but I'm fairly sure Mariano here is going to be able to just utilize his villagers to take that one down. There's another citizen getting sniped down there by Mariano. Good play there. He's stolen the Hesperid's tree for the time being. He does have a little bit of gold in the bank there as the Tartarian gate gets dropped down on the back location here. There's plenty of villagers over here that are going to be able to start shanking down the Tartarian gate. Will they be enough there, though? There's only 15 villagers here. It might not be enough. As the army pushing through, those Arcus are controlling this area nicely, as we do see the Lampede coming through here to convert some of these myth units here. Unfortunately, it hits the Dryad. That Chimera will be alive for a little bit longer, as the villagers are going to be retreating back into the town center, realizing they're not quite going to be able to take out the Tartarian gate, as some units need to make their way over there. I mean, we do see the Perseus coming in. One way you can deal with this is you get the Perseus to come in, distract all of those Tartarian spawns here, and then you send the villagers out to start harassing the Tartarian gate. You really don't need to take the Tartarian spawns down at all, unless your Tartarian gate is targeting down the actual... Unless your villagers are targeting down the Tartarian gate, or the town center is targeting the Tartarian gate. It'll take a hot minute to actually deal with that. So you do see the Arcus now engaging those Toxotes on this location here, as well as the Hades Shades getting cleaned up on this position. It does kind of look like Ulysses may be able to find himself some sort of a gold situation. He is trading at this point with the trade route, as Mariano hasn't fully walled this off just yet. The Tartarian gate does get cleaned up. Mariano's at 140 population. He's still trying to put pressure over here. The heavy Arcus versus those medium Toxotes. Who wins this fight is the big question. The Hades Toxotes here with bronze weapons versus those unupgraded, or not unupgraded, but heavy Arcus with only copper weapons. It kind of looks like to me that the medium Toxotes here are winning in this fight. Maybe. 23 PSI, 15 PSI. Maybe it's pretty close. It's pretty close in all honesty, as both players spraying each other down. The Arcus are able to get a nice advantage here in these fights with their extra range, though, as Ulysses is trying to use that as best as he possibly can. But at this point here, Ulysses has to realize he needs to figure out how to actually put Mariano on the back foot, as the Hades Shades are just pouring in to this location here. And there's just such a huge amount of resources that Mariano has gotten for free there, basically, that he's able to just pour through this location, push off that gold. Now, we do see Mariano's up on this top location here as well. The citizen swinging through here. There is an archery range already in on this position, getting himself heavy archers as well as the army pushes back. Do we have any fortresses up here? Yes, we do. Heliopolis are getting trained here. Out of that fortress there is going to be able to send that through to deal with this. Now, we do see some fire siphons coming through. Fire siphons are the correct response to Heliopoli, as they're able to kill them down from range, and they actually do a decent amount of damage to them with the 55 crush damage per second. But yeah, you have to be careful not to throw them away too fast to a whole bunch of Toxotes, as the Heliopolis is rolling in to start taking down these buildings of Ulysses. Ulysses sitting at 136 population. Mariano sitting at 140 population. Very low on the gold. He's got tons of villagers over on this position. And now we're starting to see the Arcus, or not the Arcus, the Toxotes coming out of the archery range here to deal with these villagers on this location here to take Ulysses out even faster. Not only that, we see a Chimera making its way up to Barbecue Town here, as the citizen are going to get cleaned up here really, really quickly here with that one Chimera. Going to be retreating away as... Well, it's a nice sound. One citizen going down, two citizens going down. The hero Arcus trying to come in and take out the Chimera on this position. You do see the fire siphon able to take down those at least one of those Heliopolis fairly quickly, as another Chimera coming in here try and deal with those Arcus here as well. As the citizen pushed off of the gold mine, Ulysses is at basically 0 gold here. He does have a handful of 19 llama caravans actually, so it's actually a better position than I thought he was in terms of gold income. But he's just not able to get up to full population here at this point. Neither is Mariano really here at this location either, but he's got plenty of resources in the bank. He's also got 9 donkey caravans, so he's starting his trade route. He's getting himself coinage as well, just going to boost his trade route up a ton here. Actually, a really, really smart time to get coinage. Around about 10 caravans, if you get coinage, it's worth 2. It's worth 2 caravans in terms of production there. So, because it gives you an extra 20% move speed. I think that's how it works. I could be wrong. I don't know. But yeah, that's an interesting math there from Mariano. Very, very efficient, in all honesty. As another Heliopolis rolling in here can start taking down the palace. There are 2 fire siphons out, though, that can start taking down that Heliopolis. Unfortunately for Mariano, he's not targeting the palace, and instead of going for that full HP fortified town center. So that's going to take a hot minute to get cleaned up there. As some more hero Arcus getting converted on this position to try and take down those Chimera, as Ulysses is desperately trying to hold on in this game. 135 population, still no buildings getting placed on this location here for Mariano. And here's the thing, as this fight continues to come through, Ulysses here is just not trading efficiently enough to deal with the fact that he also has to kill off an extra 1/5 the units that Mariano creates in the Hades Shades. And these Hades Shades are so strong. They get an extra 30 HP from just being in the Mythic Age. It's absolutely huge. I think they only cost 1 population as well to boot. Is that right? 1 population? Yeah, they also only cost 1 population. They're so absurdly strong as Ulysses does decide to tap out. He's got more score than Mariano in this game, and you'll see why in this post game, with him having a significant kill to loss ratio advantage here. 432 to 305. Yet he cannot finish Mariano off here in this game. Why is that? Why is that the case here? Well, you have to ask the question, how many Hades Shades do you get from 443 units lost? The answer is almost 100 Hades Shades, ladies and gentlemen. So in terms of the units lost, killed, it's only a 30 unit lead, in all honesty, which means it's not got enough of an advantage over the Hades here to win this game. And that's just how this matchup goes. That's just how this matchup goes. Absolutely bonkers. Hades. This is why Hades is S tier, by the way, guys. When you guys ask why is Hades S tier, this is why. The Hades Shade needs a nerf. Every single game I see Hades winning, it's basically because those Hades Shades have been getting mad value. I want to know exactly how many were produced here. I'm not sure it's going to show up here. As you can see, 182 heavy toxoids, so you're not going to be able to see that one. But anyways, Ulysses not able to hold on here. Mariano gets the dub. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.